Welcome, punters, to this week's edition, a special edition of the Melbourne Cup preview to Thomas Tippers. We're just going to do the Melbourne Cup one race or one horse at a time rather than go through the whole program. Very hard race, very hard program to have a bet in every race in, with 10 races on the card. People say the hardest day in Australia to have a bet. So we're just going to concentrate on the Cup, the hardest race in Australia to have a bet in. So, welcome Dan, of course, before we start.
Yeah, welcome mate. Nice to see you back. That's all.
Well,
days ago.
We had a few technical difficulties a couple of days ago, and yeah, we had 2 or 3 goes at trying to take it, and eventually I ran out of time, and so you were left the Lone Ranger. And anyway, you done a good job. Didn't tip any winners, but we'll run through them on Thursday or Friday for this weekend. All right, so the 2022 Lexus Melbourne Cup, of course, is run over 2 miles, 3,200 metres. Where we will have, officially 24 starters, but maybe after tomorrow, there's one definitely out today, which takes it to 23. Point Nepean out today, and a couple of others under a bit of a fitness cloud tomorrow. They have to pass the vets before they can actually start. So I don't think one of them's looking to flash, but anyway, we'll get to that one as we go. So the track tomorrow is a soft 6. However, they were predicting 5 to 10 millimetres of rain today on Monday afternoon, and also another 5 to 10 millimetres tomorrow on Tuesday. So it probably will get a little worse than that. Hopefully it doesn't get into the heavy range, because it takes quite a lot of the horses out of the race, unfortunately. However, race 7, by the end of the day, it'll be well chopped up anyway, so they won't be I wouldn't imagine they'd be on the fence. They'd be down the centre of the track, as most Melbourne Cups have won down the middle of the track. So we'll start off with the top weight this year. Is Gold Trip will carry 57.5 kilos with Mark Zara to ride from the Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace stable. He's drawn 14. What can we say? Caulfield Cup run was very good. Got beaten 0.02 behind Durston. And then if you watch the Cox Plate last week, you will see where he flashed home to run 8th or 9th or something like that in the Cup. But he had really no chance. Back from 2,400 metres in the Caulfield Cup, back to the testing 2,000 metres at Moonee Valley. And I really do think it was just more of a fitness run, looking to put a few more miles in his legs to get him up to the Melbourne Cup distance of 3,200 metres. He's currently $17 in the market. As we speak on Sportsbet, he opened $10, so he has got the blows, this horse. Heavy form, he hasn't got much. 5 starts for a couple of placings. Goes okay in the soft. He's won 1 for 5 other placings. Gold Trip. 57.5 might see him out. He's weighted up to his best. What are your thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, it's sort of been a bit of a topsy-turvy prep, hasn't it? Like you said, he's gone from 2,400 back to the 2,000, now to the 3,200. I don't really see the logic in that, but he is well weighted, I thought. I just don't know over the trip. 14's a bit sticky as well, but yeah, I just don't know. Mark Zara, hopefully he can ride Gold Trip better than he rode a few on Saturday. It was very disappointing, but Maher and Eustace, you can't really knock them out of the equation at the moment.
No, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Good soft record too, so if we do get that soft track, it's going to be...
Well, we will. Just depends on how soft it actually gets.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to horse number 2. Always have trouble pronouncing this. Duar. Messed it up again. Drew Barry at 10. Huey Bowman on board. Ed Cummins. Edward Cummins has been saying for months now that he's going to give this the same preparation. He's saying this horse will win the Cup and carry on the Cummings name. Of course, Edward is a grandson of the great Bart Cummins and a son of Anthony, I think it is.
Yep.
Another one he's getting just out in the market, $21 to $23. No form at all on the heavy. 3 wins on the soft track. He's had 4 goes at the heavy for nothing, so hopefully it doesn't get into the heavy, because I personally think he's a bit of a blowout chance. I thought his run in the Caulfield Cup was very good. He was no closer than 6 wide the whole trip behind Durston and Gold Trip, and he only got beaten 2.5. Josh Parr rode in that day. Josh might have got the tap on the shoulder after the bad ride, and Huey Bowman's engaged. Your thoughts, Dan, on Juar?
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think it's a good blowout chance. I mean, you're getting good odds about it. I don't think it's ever started that price before, but yeah, the query is if it does just get a bit too heavy for it. Like you said, it's had a few starts in the heavy for absolutely nothing. But I mean, it's a blowout chance. Huey Bowman on board, so I think it must go into your multiples.
Okay. Move on, race 7, number 3 is Knight's Order. Drew the car park in 24, but really it doesn't really matter in the Melbourne Cup. Especially with a horse like this, I think he will lead, Knight's Order. Timmy Clark on board, Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott, the trainer. Clark always rides on speed runners very, very well, always rides for Gay Waterhouse very, very well. He's into $13, 15s to 13s overnight. By Say You Think, who was a very good horse.
Won third in the Melbourne Cup.
Certainly did. Won third, yeah. Say You Think won a Cox Plate as a 3-year-old. He goes okay with the sting out of the ground. 8 starts on the soft for 3 wins. 5 starts on the heavy for 2 wins. So he's won 5 out of his 6 career wins with the sting out of the ground. Barrier 24, I think he'll go to the front anyway, or he'll be up sitting outside the leader. I can see him being in this for a long way. 55.5 kilos. Your thoughts with this one, Dan?
Yeah, he's going to be a genuine leader, like you said. It does. It has. I think it has a couple of starts over the 3,200. I think won the Sydney Cup this year. Yeah, it has. It's had a couple of goes over the distance. 3 starts for 2 wins. There's no doubt it's not going to run the trip, but Sydney Cup to Melbourne Cup form, there's a lot of difference in that. I don't think it's any chance. I don't think it's obviously going to get to the front, but how much juice is it going to use to get across from 24 is my only query, and I just can't see it doing any good.
Well, there you have it. Nice, straightforward no. Number 4 is Montefilia. Jason Collett will take the ride for David Payne. Very, very interesting campaign this mare's had. Drew barrier 11. She's had almost the identical campaign as last year's winner in Very Elegant. My thoughts, Very Elegant is a better horse than Montefilia. I don't think Montefilia has won anywhere near as many Group 1s as what Very Elegant had won when she won the Melbourne Cup. However, she does get through the ground. Well, Stevie Wonder could have seen how much luck she had in the Caulfield Cup, which was absolutely nothing. She had to check off heels and then switch again, and she flashed. She came from nowhere to run 4th. Probably should have won the Cup, the Caulfield Cup. That's always good form for a Melbourne Cup, but whether she gets the 2 mile, she only got beaten 1.1 in the Caulfield Cup over 2,400. I personally have my doubts on a class over 2 mile, and $11, she won't be getting any of mine.
It's a bit of a tough one, this. Like you said, it has been a topsy-turvy sort of, very similar to Gold Trip, with just with the way it's sort of chopped and changed around a bit. It's just sort of, I don't know, but I mean, it's going good. 2 mile is the query. Loves the heavy track, which is, well, if we're all predicting the rain, it's had 6 starts for 2 and 2, so it can get through the wet. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't think it's, like you said, I don't think it's quite the horse that, well, it's not the horse that Very Elegant was, and I think he's probably a rough, if you're taking multiples first 4, he's probably got to be included, but
55.5 kilos, so I think it's just a bit too close in the weights to Gold Trip for me.
Yeah.
Just 2 kilos splitting them. I think Gold Trip, I'd prefer over it. Anyway, number 5 is Numerian, to be ridden by Tommy Berry from the Annabelle Neesham yard. Well, $51, but who says $51 shots can't win this? Of course, we've seen Prince of Penzance win a few years ago at 100 to 1, and write history with Michelle Payne. Still the only female jockey to win a Melbourne Cup winner. This horse, Numerian, ran 5th, got beaten only 1.2 lengths behind Durston and Gold Trip in the Caulfield Cup. Handles the sting out of the ground. It's one that's probably looking for the heavy track because it's had 7 starts for 1 win and 4 placings. I mean, at $51, barrier 7. Look, you'll get the run of the race in 7 from Tommy. Maybe a blowout chance, but I think he'll finish top 10, I think.
yeah, I'm with you, mate. Blowout chance for me, top 10, I think. I mean, Annabelle Neesham does train mudlarks very, very well. Like I said, it finished just behind Montefilia. I think there's a couple of kilos weight swing there, Montefilia's way, but yeah, I just can't have it at the price.
Fair enough, as my mate says, and you know who it is. The horse doesn't know it's $51. Anyway, we'll move on to number 6. Without a Fight. One of the imported horses that's come over here with a very big rap, William Buick to ride. Have you ever seen a bigger slaughter than last week when he was on Zapateo? Well, he gets the butcher ride for that week. But anyway, we'll talk about that on Thursday. So Without a Fight, number 6, he's drawn out a little in barrier 18. William Buick to ride, 55.5 from the Simon and E. Osford yard. I don't even know the trainers, but obviously they've got horses over at Great Britain. Look, his form reads very good for a race like this. Handles the sting out of the ground, 5 starts for 2 wins and 2 placings. Yet to have a run on the heavy track. Yet to have a run over the distance. However, he won in Great Britain over 2,800 metres just 2 starts ago, drew barrier 1. Won by 3.5 lengths that day. He won the start before that over 2,800 metres on a good track. He won by a 1.8 there, carried 59.5. But the stat that really gets me is 4 starts ago now, he ran 3rd over 2,400 metres, carried 58 kilos, where we get down to the favourite. I think he actually carried 60 kilos Without a Fight. We get down to the favourite, carried less weight in over the same distance, and Without a Fight actually ran almost 2 seconds quicker than what Duval Legend did. So at $10 Without a Fight, he's come in from $11 to 10s. $12 they opened up yesterday. There is a bit of money around for him. I think he's a real chance, this horse, and I think we will be I'll be putting him into the top 3 anyway, number 6 Without a Fight.
Yeah, I'm the same here, mate. It kind of scares me after seeing the ride, like we said, on Zapateo with William Buick, but...
Might have been a warm-up ride.
Well, you want to hope so, because it was horrendous. But, like you said, the times are really, really good. I know we're really not big on times. We're more big on weights and down in benchmarks and stuff, but times speak, and yeah, it should be a really good chance, I think.
Well, this bloke's been carrying 60 kilos overseas, 60, 59.5, 61.
Yeah.
You know, and he gets in with 55.5 kilos. He won't know what's on his back.
He's got to go in, and like, just seeing at the stats there, I think he's had 17 starts, and he's only missed the placing 3 times out of his 17 starts. I mean...
Good strike rate.
Good strike rate, 82% the place record, so I mean, you've nearly got to put him into your top 3, I think.
And he's won 7 out of 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. Anyway, we'll move on. Number 7 is Kimura, drawn 17. Benny Mellum to ride for the Ben and JD Hayes yard. Now, this horse is $61. I personally can't see how it is $61. It's got good form on the soft for 2 wins. It's had a couple of placings on the heavy. 17 starts for 4 wins in its career and 6 placings. He's probably my big blowout chance of the day. I know you've got a bit more of a stat on him, which I'll let you reveal. But he's my blowout chance for the day, number 7, Kimura.
Yeah, like you said, I've been doing a bit of study on this fella, and I cannot believe the price. And he's even got the blows. He's 41s to 61s now. If you're a bit of a form analysis and you like watching your previous winners and trying to weigh up a bit of form with them last year, 2 previous winners in Twilight Payment and Rekindling actually won the same race this bloke has won leading into this race. And he carried 62 kilos to win that race overseas. So if you like the form line, you like weighing them up, I mean, Twilight Payment and Rekindling both won the Melbourne Cup in the same sort of prep. This bloke gets 55 kilos, 7 kilo weight swing. I mean, he's got to be a big chance, and like you said, he won't know what's on his back. $61. He's probably nearly my tip for the cup.
There you go. Well, all that will be revealed at the end of this little segment. Number 8 is Duval Legend, the favourite, who will definitely start favourite this year. A fairly short price favourite too at $3.70. Karen McAvoy to ride for the James Ferguson yard. Look, every time you pick up the paper, turn on the telly and speak Melbourne Cup, he's just shortening, and all the good judges from England think that, especially now that the horse was scratched through the week and didn't actually make the field, Loft, he was scratched. A lot of the good judges think that this is just a good thing. Look, yet to have a start. The only the big stat for me is yet to have a start on the soft, yet to have a start on the heavy. So we don't know much about him. I'm positive he'll stay the trip by See the Stars, who's a very good sire of stayers. Positive he'll stay the trip. But at $3.70, without having a start on the soft or the heavy, he won't be getting any of mine. Duval Legend, number 8.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. It's just, he's only lightly raced too. He's only had the 7 starts. I mean, it's a long way to go from Great Britain in a Class 1. Well, their Class 1's nearly our benchmark sort of races. But, yeah, I just can't see. No doubt it's going to run the trip. I don't mind, but like you said, the 2 stats leading against it, and the track that's played now is soft and heavy, and I just can't have it at the moment. And being the price too, if it was $10 or $11, yeah, I'd probably have something on it. But at $3.70, way too short for me.
$1.70 a place. You'll get $2 a place. I've got no doubt in the world. You'll get $2 a place. But not for you?
Nah, not for me, mate. I can't have it.
All right, number 9, Stockman's drawn barrier 2 with Sam Clippert on the board from the Joseph's Pride yard. Been a bit of a shortener this Blake. Anyway, it's not my money that's going on. $41 to $26 overnight. Probably because of his wet track form. He's had 10 starts in the heavy for 4 wins and a couple of placings. 13 starts in the soft for 3 wins and 5 placings. So he's actually won 8 races in his career, and 7 of them have been on either soft or heavy tracks. So they're probably looking towards that. Distance, he's had 1 go for a nothing by Tavistock. They all swim. I personally can't have him, mate. Last start, 8th of 13, beaten behind Star of India. Heavy track, his last heavy track run was at Randwick over the 2,400 metres. He carried 56.5 kilos. He ran 4th, just got beaten just under a length by no compromise. I don't think that's quite good enough form for this, and at $26, he's not for me, Stockman.
Yeah, I think they're just hoping and praying, the blokes that are on, they're hoping and praying the skies open up. If it gets to a mudlark, well, anything can happen, brings everyone back to the square field. But, yeah, I'm with you. I can't believe it's shortened so far. I thought it might have went the other way, but not for me. I reckon it's a genuine chance to run last.
There you go. All right, we move on to number 10, Vow and Declare. Blake Shin, barrier 4, Danny O'Brien. Shouldn't have to say too much more, only he's blowing like the southerly. $19 to $27. Overnight, Vow and Declare. Barrier 4, once again, 1 start in the heavy for nothing, but I don't know what distance that was over. 8 starts on the soft for 2 wins and 2/3. Of course, he won this race 3 years ago, 2019. He won this race. I'm sure Craig Williams rode him that day.
Yep.
I'm sure he did. Look, his last run I thought was super in the Caulfield Cup. He was, I'm sure Blake Shin has been asked, please give me another chance on this horse because I butchered it in the Caulfield Cup. He got beaten 1.9 lengths, 5 and 6 deep, the whole trip, no luck at all. He drew 16 that day. He's drawn a lot better in 4, previous winner. Long as it doesn't get to the heavy range, I think he's a real chance for our Declare number 10.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've been watching the replays and just trying to find a bit of form just to try and weigh up. I've even watched his Melbourne Cup win and a few starts prior just to try and weigh up where he's at. I think he's probably going a touch better than when he won the Melbourne Cup.
Didn't come up last prep, which is sad.
Yeah, he just didn't he didn't come up. But I mean, his last 2 runs have been absolutely super, and I'm with you. I think Blake Shin begged and pleaded to get back on it because he absolutely butchered this. But like I said, it's just I reckon it's just a genuine chance at the price. No doubt it's going to run the trip. It's won the trip before, so yeah, I think it goes in. I'm really top 3 for me. So
Okay, soft track, he's going good. Flemington strike rate's pretty good as far as his career goes. Number 11, Young Werther. Well, this thing's had more wraps on it than a Christmas present and hasn't saluted very well so far. Heavy tracks, no. Soft tracks, a couple of placings. 14 starts for 1 win in its career. By Tavistock, you'd think it would handle the wet. I know Danny O'Brien, well, last year had a big rap on the horse. I'm sure it went round in last year's Melbourne Cup. Look, I can't have it. $41, I think there's a 1 missing off the front of it.
I'm with you, mate. I can't. How did it even qualify for the Cup is what I want to know. It's done nothing. Like you've had 1 win and you get a spot in the Melbourne Cup.
Well, there it is. 10th of 13 last start over 2040. The start before it ran 3rd at Flemington on a good track behind Smoke and Romans. Just run through on Flemington. It ran 4th of 12 over 1700. Caulfield it ran 6th of 14 and the soft over 2400 behind Incentivise. Well, that was obviously in last year's Caulfield Cup. So it's had 3 runs back. Look, I'm not looking any further. I can't have it.
It just surprises me that the price for one and how it gets in the other one. No for me.
All right, number 12. Mal, I think they pronounce it. Barrier 15, Craigie Williams to ride with 53.5 kilos from the Waterhouse and Botyard. $15. He's going to be somewhere thereabouts, you would think. Another of the imports. Last start didn't do much over the 2,800 metres. He ran 8th of 9. Previous start before that, he won by 2.5 lengths over 2,800. Look, his form reads okay. 1 start in the heavy for a 3rd, 2 starts in the soft for 1 win. The only thing that worries me a little bit, I think he's going to have a lot of speed on. He's been racing in small fields over there his last couple. But rumour has they paid a lot of money for this horse to come to Australia, Gay and Adrian Bott. I don't know whether they bought it themselves or it's syndicated. I don't know much about it, but it will be having its first start. Number 12, do you give it a chance, Dan?
Yeah, I do actually. I think it drops a fair bit in weights. I know we talk a lot about weights. Gets 53 kilos, so it drops 5 kilos. 5 kilos and 6 kilos its last 2 starts. I mean, you got the gun in Craig Williams on board, and like you said, rumour has it there has been a lot of money to get this thing here. So it must show some sort of promise. It's been carrying big weights. Gets 53.5. I mean, it's the only query is a lot of, like with the imports having their first run on a big track. Yeah, I don't know, but I think he's got to go in. I think he's, like you said, he's going to need a lot of speed on because I think he will sort of settle at the back, especially drawing 15. Yeah, I think he's a chance, but...
Rate him a chance, all right?
Yeah.
We'll give him a chance only. Also a bit of inexperience for me. Only 9 career starts, but not many of them win it like that. You're going to be pretty good. Number 13, Serpentine. Drew barrier 23 with the Irishman Johnny Allen on board. Robert Hickmont, the trainer, $61. Well, what can we say about this bloke? His last start was probably his best for a fair while, although in a small field of 7. Runs second over 2,500 metres with Johnny Allen Road. Carried 55 that day. He just gets in with 53.5. Serpentine, $61. I personally can't have him. 6 starts in the soft for a second. 2 starts in the heavy for 3 duck eggs. Not for me, Serpentine.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think they're missing a 0 off that one too. I think I'd be very, very surprised if this thing runs top 10. It's just, I just can't see it running anywhere near them at the moment.
You can't tip it to run last because you've already tipped one to run last.
Yeah, well, I'll tip it to run second last.
In a photo. Okay. All right, moving right along. Number 14 is Dakin Sweet Jr. Daniel Bucket's more to ride. P. Stokes, the trainer, $46. Look, this horse's form's not actually all that bad. A couple of starts, a couple of wins on the soft, a placing on the heavy. His last start was a shocker behind Lunar Flare. However, he was well in the market at $7. He did run third in the Sydney Cup behind Knight's Order. If you rate Knight's Order a chance, you'd have to consider this bloke. Although he had 51.5 in the Sydney Cup, he got beaten 4.5 lengths, and he goes to 53. Well, $46, barrier 13. Good luck to the connections, but none of my money.
I just think I actually don't mind it. I just think it's going to run the trip. It's a bit of an unknown, this bloke. Like you said, he's had 2 starts the trip for a win and a third. I just don't know if the start that he did win was at Morfettville and over 3,200. I just can't. On a good track too, but not a lot of horses have run the trip. So if you're going to back off that sort of thing, I mean, Jamie Carr rode it at Morfettville when it won, carried 56.5, the Adelaide Cup. So I think he's got to go in your multiples, but at $51, I won't be backing him each way.
Okay. Number 15, Grand Promenade. Drew Barrier, number 1. Harry Coffey to ride for Mara and Eustace. $81. I know Harry rides a lot of track work for these guys and rides a lot of horses in the bush. I reckon Harry might have had a choice to ride this horse, and he's said yes, please. 6 starts on the soft for 2 wins and 2 placings. 2 starts on the heavy for nothing, so he'll be hoping it doesn't get to the heavy range. Last start he ran 4th. That would have been in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, I would say.
Yeah.
However, he did on the heavy track. He got beaten 11 lengths, which is not real good enough form for this. He ran 3.3 lengths, 9th behind Sacra Knight before that. Grand Promenade. 7-year-old Bay Gelding. I can't have him at $81. Do you rate him a chance?
Absolutely none. Does carry the same colours of Prince of Penzance if anyone's followed that, but none for me.
Very quick, very good. That's a no.
That's a no.
Number 16 is Arapaho. Rachel King to ride for the Bjorn Baker yard. Rachel looking to be the 2nd female winner of the Melbourne Cup. $67 Arapaho, drawn barrier 19. A little bit of money, 101s into 67s. Once again, heavy form, 7 starts for a win and 3 placings. 12 starts on the soft for 4 wins and 3 placings as well. Last start, went round in a 2,000 metre race behind Stockman. Ran 2nd, got beaten 1.8, carried 57 kilos. Looking for the last couple of heavy runs was... It ran 2nd of 8 at Randwick, got beaten a fair way in 5 lengths. And then just 2 starts ago, it ran 8th of 12. However, it only got beaten 2.7 behind no compromise. I can't have Arapaho because I can't have no compromise.
Well, no compromise, million.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. It's not for me. I wish Rachel King all the best, but if you like mud in your face, that's what you're going to get. Righto.
Number 17, a mystery. Paddy Maloney to ride for the Mike Moroney yard, $31. He's also getting out the gate, 23s to 31s overnight. Drawn okay in barrier 3. Hasn't had a start at the trip. 2 starts on the heavy for nothing. 2 starts on the soft for 1 win. That'll be the Geelong Cup. He did win last start. He wasn't really in the market that day either. He started double figure odds. Geelong Cup many years ago, or quite a few years ago now, was always a good pointer to the Melbourne Cup. It hasn't been quite as successful in the last few years. but I can't have a mystery at 31s.
Well, I'm with you as well. $31, I can't have it. Like you said, Geelong Cup was a good many years ago. Media Puzzle won the Geelong Cup to go and win the Melbourne Cup 2002.
Yeah, I'll go along with you. Yep.
2002, I think it won the Melbourne Cup. If you're going to weigh that form, I'm just trying to find help to try and back it, but I just can't.
They used to bring their imports out here, and that was always their lead-up run into the Melbourne Cup was the Geelong Cup. So you'd always see a Media Puzzle or a really good import come out here. They'd give it a hard hit out in the Geelong Cup. Hopefully run well. If you won back then, your automatic entry into the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
You don't see many of them coming out and going into the Geelong Cup now. You see more of them coming out here and either going first up over 2 mile or maybe given just a long opener over 2,000 metres, but not many even have a start in Australia. They come straight to the 2 mile and go from there. Number 18 is Lunar Flare. Drawn barrier 12, Mickey D to ride from the Graham Begg yard. A bit surprised. I honestly thought that Graham Begg with a horse in this, he would throw Jordan Childs on. I don't know whether Geordie's off on a holiday or a suspension, but I thought he would have got the ride. And if I would have done my homework a bit quicker, viewers, I would have been able to tell you why he didn't get the ride, because he can't get down to 51.5 kilos. So that's why Mickey D's on. $21 Lunar Flare. Yet to have a run at the trip. Handles the slow. He's had 2 placings in the heavy. Last start runs second behind Francesco Diaz in the Moonee Valley Cup. However, well, he got beaten 3 and a bit lengths. Not many excuses for him that day. I actually rate it. I think he will run the trip, this horse. He's had a really good preparation for 3,200 metres. Lightweight chance at 51.5, $21, not the worst in the race.
Yeah, I actually like this bloke. I just had a quick look prior to the show, and this is one of the guys that has to be tested again, vetted again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Is a big injury cloud under this. They thought it was lame in the front 4. Has to be tested tomorrow. It's in quite a bit of doubt at the moment. I think it was pretty good. I know I got beat by Francesco Guardi there last start. It actually beat at home the start before at Flemington. I don't mind it, only if the heavens sort of open up a bit.
Okay, right, moving right along. Number 19, we're getting there, Smokin' Romans. Well, to be ridden by Jamie Carr is drawn at barrier 16. $16, 51.5 kilos from the Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace yard. Look, this horse started favourite in the Caulfield Cup. I'm a big believer in wherever there's smoke, there's fire. Had no luck whatsoever in the Caulfield Cup. Only got beaten 2.3 lengths behind Durston, Gold Trip and the likes. There was 6 kilos between Smokin' Romans and Gold Trip in the Caulfield Cup. That remains to be 6 kilos. However, I think this is going to be the big improver of the day in this race. 3 starts in the heavy for a win and a placing. A couple of wins and a couple of placings out of 8 starts on the soft. Jamie Carr, can she be the second lady to win a Melbourne Cup as a jockey? Smokin' Romans.
Yeah, it was a good run last start. I just don't. I'm a big query over the distance itself. I don't think it's. I'm not going to say it won't get the trip, but I don't think it's going to run a strong 2 mile for me. Like we said, Drew barrier 16. Here's another one of Mara and Eustace. Jamie Carr, 51 kilos. I actually heard an interview with her last weekend, and they asked her what was your minimum weight you could ride at, and she said, I'm happy to ride at 49. So that's pretty good going for a jockey to ride at 49 kilos, but...
I weighed that once.
Yeah, when you were 7.
When I was about 4.
But back to Smokin' Romans, my big query is just over the trip, mate. I don't see it running out a strong 2 mile, which is unfortunate.
All right, number 20 is Charlie Rose, has drawn barrier 22. With Dean Yendall to ride for the Simon Wild yard. $81 Charlie Rose. has been set for this race and this race only. Went round in this race last year. It's had 2 starts at the Trip for Nothing. Hasn't had a start in the heavy. Does enjoy the soft with 8 starts for 2 wins and 3 seconds. Look, you've got to be a very, very good mare to win a Melbourne Cup. Very elegant. Of course, the champ. Mackay Diva I speak of. Empire Rose. They were very, very good mares. I don't think Tralee Rose is in the same class. However, if you watched last year's Melbourne Cup, I reckon it was probably 50 metres behind the second last horse at one stage. It got galloped on. It got home very well. It actually ran top 10 and earned the owners some prize money. I think it's a top 10 chance again, but not in my top 3.
Not in my top 3, but I think definitely top 10. I'm, like you said, it did get galloped on, run 9th last year. I actually think it's probably going to be one of the bigger improvers. I think it carried 54 in last year's Melbourne Cup. Does get 51.5, so if it can sort of get the same sort of trail, I think it's a chance. Dean Yendall on board. Well, he is another butcher, but hopefully he can ride it well. It's just that there's a bit of money for it too. 101s to 81s. Simon Wild can train a mudlark. And can train a stayer. Very, very good trainer of stayers. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the big improvers. Definitely top 10 for me.
All right, Tralee Rose, righto. Number 22, because number 21 is out in Point Nepean. Number 22 is High Emotion. T.O. Nugent to ride once again for the Mar and Eustace yard. $31 this horse, High Emotion. 51s to 31s. Someone's had something on. No starts at the distance. Goes okay at Flemington. Soft ground, yes. 3 out of 9 and a couple of placings. Heavy ground, 2 ticks, 3 starts for 2 wins and a third. Getting back to the mares again, 6-year-old brown mare. I think this mare may be the first mare home. There's one, including Montefilia. I think this horse will be the first mare home in High Emotion. Won the Bendigo Cup on the heavy. Came from well back that day. I actually watched that race. Started well in the market. Started favourite that day. Come from well back. Look, with 100 yards to go, you would have been tearing your ticket up. Just got beaten 1.4 behind Luna Flair the start before that at Flemington. 2,500 at Flemington, yes. Won by 2 lengths. Carried 54. I rated a chance. Only a rough chance, but first mare home for me, High Emotion.
Yep, I'm nearly the same boat here. I just don't think if the heavens do open up, I don't like its chances. But good win last start. It was very, very impressive. Does get in light, 50 kilos. Yeah, I just don't know. I think it's not the Mar and Eustace. I don't think it's their best one for the cup anyway.
Give a soft run, barrier 8.
Yeah, it'll get a good run. I just don't like it at the moment.
Okay, 31's righto. Number 23 is Interpretation. Craig Froggy knew it to ride. Let's hope he rides this a little bit better than what he did Bella Notches last start. Bjorno Notches, I should say. Superimposed couldn't have won from where Bjorno Notches was the other day, and it flashed home to run 3rd. Very, very unlucky run in the Cormore. Of course, I'm talking through my pocket. I did back it a few weeks ago, so I got the money back because it ran 3rd. But Interpretation, drawn well in 6, $51 from the Mar and Eustace yard again. Sounds like a bit of a broken record. 1 start in the heavy for nothing, 5 starts on the soft for 1 win. Yet to be tried over the distance. Had 12 starts, career starts for 3 wins. Ran 6 to 14 last start behind Emissary. That would have been in the Geelong Cup.
Yep.
I don't think that's good enough form for this. Flemington ran 3rd behind Luna Flair and Francesco Gardi. Craig Williams rode it that day. I can't have an Interpretation. Do you rate it a chance at $51?
I do, actually. I do, yeah.
Is this another one under the vet cloud?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is another one of the vet cloud. Has got to pass. I think they said 9 o'clock tomorrow. It's going to be passed. Similar thing to Luna Flare. Had its gallop today. Looked to be lame. Vet actually tested it. They said come back tomorrow. We'll give you some more time. I don't think its run where it only got beat 0.92 starts back was all that bad. Over 2,510 at Flemington. It run third that day. I know it did start $4. I think if Luna Flare's in the market and this thing only got beat 0.9 behind it and gets in a lot better at the weights, I think it's overs.
Okay, Luna Flare, just have a quick look. Luna Flare carried 54.5 last start. This one carried 54, so half a kilo difference. We'll run back up the top here. Luna Flare carries 51.5 and this one carries 50. So, okay, so a little weight swing in its favour. Number 24, the last horse in the race this year is Realm of Flowers, to be ridden by Damien Thornton from the Anthony and Sam Friedman yard. This is probably the money horse. $16 to $10 overnight. Drew very well in barrier 5. 2 starts at the trip for a second. 3 starts at the track for 1 win. It's won 5 out of its 23. Then we get down to the negatives. Heavy track, 2 starts for 2 placings. Has won 4 on the soft. So 4 out of 5 wins have actually been on the soft ground. Really good run last start in the heavy condition behind No Compromise. Got beaten 0.02, carried 51, so it only gets in with a kilo less. That was at Randwick. The start before that ran 3rd of 8. That's not good enough form. Look, everyone's jumping on it because I think they're saying wet track, no weight. 50 kilos is always an advantage. Do you rate Realm of Flowers a chance?
No. I reckon we spoke before missing 1-0. I reckon missing 2.
Oh, really? You reckon it's that bad?
Yeah, I don't reckon it's any chance whatsoever. I'll be very, very surprised if Realm of Flowers win. Like you said, its previous couple of starts have been very, very average.
Yep.
It does get in light. Yeah, that's a tick. Wet ground, it does handle, but I can't see it measuring up to any of these guys. I think it's only it's a very, very weak Group 3 horse, not a Group 1 horse.
All right, so that's our, well, not a quick wrap-up, but we've gone through every horse. Hope it's confused you as much as it's confused us, everybody. I'm going to pick 3 out, Dan. I don't know what order. I might even just box them up. I'm going to box up Without a Fight, number 6. I'm going to throw in number 10, Vow and Declare. And I'm going to put in Smoke and Romans, which started favourite in the Caulfield Cup and had no luck, number 19. So 6, 10 and 19 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go, what did I go? I'm actually going to go out on a limb. I'm going to tip Kimura on top.
At $61.
At $61. Just the form lines, I think, for me. Just the way they're weighing up to previous winners. To beat number 10, Vow and Declare. And then I'll throw in Luna Flare if it gets past fit. If not, doesn't get past fit, I will throw in Duar.
Duar on the wet.
Yeah.
All right. So you've gone, just recapping, you have gone boxed up. You've gone number 2, 7, and
10.
And 10?
Yeah.
Or 7, 10, and Luna Flare, if past fit.
If past fit.
Which is number 18. All right, hope you've enjoyed the show, folks. We shall talk again on Thursday and do... What's on Saturday?
You guess
another big day.
Another big day.
Emirates Stakes Day, I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, of course, we've got the Oaks on Thursday, which we won't do. We'll just do a show on Thursday night, talk about Saturday, talk about all the butchered rides from last Saturday. Good luck in the Cup. Hope you enjoy the day and back a winner.